Hey YouTube, Maddie's Daddy 12, Team JMT, coming to you guys with a video of just something that's been on my mind here recently. Um, Went to an amusement park today with the family. Missed out on the locals because spending some time there with them, a lot of fun. Spent a lot of time in lines waiting for a roller coaster or a water slide or whatnot, and had a lot of time for my mind to just kind of wander. Um, so I don't know if you guys have heard about this yet or not, but Pot of Duality is getting reprinted. Um, it's been all over YouTube. Everybody's got a video up on it about now. I'm one of the last ones, I feel, to put up a video on it because I'm not the one to just kind of jump out there and be like, oh, I got new information. Here you go. Let's talk about this. Blah, blah, blah. I kind of want to sit back and kind of digest the information that I'm getting first, and really kind of see how it affects me and how it affects my viewers before I just start spouting out and just regurgitating information in front of you guys. So I've had my time to kind of ponder the Pot of Duality reprint. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that. Like I said, everybody's got a video up right now, and like really, Nat's Boy is the only one that has really touched on anything that really seems to be important in my eyes, because he started talking about what decks are gonna be good. Well, I agreed with the concept of his video, but kind of what was said was kind of a no-brainer. I mean, Pot of Duality is a good card. It's going to make every deck good. Um, it basically makes every deck a budget deck, which is something that he touched on. But, I mean, let's just face it, that's exactly what it does. I mean, Gravekeepers are very, very cheap to build, except for Duality and Warning. So, I mean, we're getting Duality. Um, I mean, just every deck like that. It's just a hero beat is cheap, other than Duality and Warning. I mean, so yeah, every deck is going to be a budget build now. Every player is going to have more access to a better card, so that's going to make every player better. I guess not really, but yeah, they're going to be playing better cards, so yeah, they're technically going to be a better player. So what decks are going to be better because of this? All of them. Because they're all going to be able to play Duality. Okay, so I'm not, and no offense to Nats Boy, I'm not trying to make fun of him. I'm just saying that's kind of my impression of it. Everybody else is just, oh my god, it's getting reprinted. They finally did it. Duh. I mean, this is Konami we're talking about. They're going to reprint cards. They've done a really good job of reprinting good cards too. A lot better job than what Upper Deck ever did. So I mean, I've got to commend Konami for doing this. I mean, they've done a really good job and have really done it at prime times for them to make money. Um, so that's just kind of my thoughts on the Pot of Duality reprint. Okay, so now what I actually want to talk about is what implications does the Pot of Duality reprint have on the secondary market. All right, the secondary market is any kind of single card sales. The primary market is when you buy product from Konami, packs, boxes, special edition boxes, anything like that. That's the primary market. The secondary market is the cards that we pull out of those packs when myself or a vendor at your locals or at your regionals or anything along those lines, you personally selling it to a friend or taking it to eBay, that's the secondary market. So right now, the secondary market on Pot of Duality is flooded. I just searched Pot of Duality on my eBay from my eBay account before I started this video, and Pot of Duality are averaging buy it nows between 45 and 60, which seems pretty good. Seems real good to me. Um, there was actually 640 auctions on Pot of Duality whenever I searched it. Now that also includes some of the pre-sales, and right now you can pre-order Pot of Duality Supers for around 10 to 12, sometimes 15. Which is what I really feel like Pot of Duality Super Rare is going to stick around as far as value. I feel like after release it's going to be about a $10 card, and then once the 10s kind of start to thin out, it's going to go up to about 15. I feel like the secrets are going to be probably unlimiteds around 30, with the first editions probably around 40, maybe 45-ish. So that's just kind of my thoughts on where the secondary market is going to set on Pot of Duality once the Super becomes widely distributed. So right now, like I was saying, the Pot of Duality's secondary market is very, very flooded. And it's just a matter of supply and demand. And right now the supply is very, very high. And the demand is not quite as high as what some people were probably thinking. And there's a reason why the demand is not very high. Okay? Because you're going to do one of two things if you buy a Pot of Duality right now. One, you're either getting it to bling out your deck, which is perfectly fine. I've got friends in my area that do that, and I've got close friends that do that with their decks, and it doesn't matter to me. I mean, that's fine. That's what they're into. It doesn't hurt me a bit. Personally, I feel like the Super Rare is going to do the exact same thing that Secret Rare is going to do, but, I mean, to each their own. Number two, you're going to try to resell this Pot of Duality if you were to pick it up right now. I don't think that's as easy as what you think it's going to be. Reselling it right now, you have a very limited demand. And I'm going to touch on that real quick. North America World Qualifiers is just around the corner. I mean, it's upon us right now. I mean, this is the 10th. Yeah, this is July 10th. July 15th, 16th, and 17th, I believe, are the dates on YuGiOh Nationals. So, North American World Qualifier, better said. So, I feel like your number one audience to sell Pot of Duality is going to be the players going to Nationals. They are going to need and want Pot of Duality so they can play it at Nationals. So if you're picking up Pot of Duality right now to resale, those should be the first people you're looking for. Number two, the Indianapolis Gen Con is going to have a YCS. So that would be your second audience that you need to try to touch on. So if you don't have access to players that are going to Nationals or to players that are going to the Indianapolis Gen Con YCS, then you really don't need to try to pick up Duality to try to resell. Now, you do have the options of eBay, but like I just said, I just searched it, and we're 4 days since the release of the news, and there's 640 hits when I searched it on eBay on auctions. So there's 640 auctions that I can potentially go and bid on right now. So do you really want to make it 641? I don't see you making money that way. So really, that's what I see as your market right now. Now, you do still have the Worlds tournament. Now, when I say that, let's also understand that anybody that is going to qualify for Worlds from the North American World Qualifier is going to have Pot of Duality, or they're already going to have access to Pot of Duality if they want to play it. So I don't think you're going to be selling it to the actual players of the World Qualifiers, but the captive audience that you'll have if you go to the World Qualifiers, that you'll be able to sell to there. So yeah, that's like my main two audiences that I see you being able to sell to right now is the national players and the Indianapolis YCS players. If you can't get to those players right now, you really don't have anybody to sell to, because do you really think somebody is going to buy a $50 Pot of Duality to play at the locals? I don't really think that's going to happen. Now, the reason I've excluded regionals is because right now we're in the midst of the North American qualifier, and then Worlds is going to be right around the corner. We're not going to have any regionals here anytime soon. By the time we do start having regionals, the reprint is already going to be out. Your chance to make money on Pot of Duality right now is going to be past by the time regionals come around. So if you're wanting to try to resell Pot of Duality, unless you have access to those two audiences in the North American qualifier or the Indianapolis YCS, I don't think you need to touch it right now. And that's just my thoughts. I mean, you guys can take this information with a grain of salt and do what you want with it. It doesn't bother me a bit. But those are just kind of my thoughts on where the Pot of Duality reprint puts the game right now. So there you go, guys. I mean, I hope you guys appreciate my insight or my thoughts on the Pot of Duality reprint. I'm sorry it took me so long to get one of these up, just because, I mean, it's life. I mean, no, I want to make sure that I have time to think about what I'm going to give you guys. I don't want to just throw out just random information, and I didn't want this to be some little a minute and a half video of, looky here, here's the page that you guys could have already gone and looked at yourselves and picked up off of Pojo. It says Pot of Duality is getting reprinted. Thanks, subscribe. I don't want to do that to you guys. I want to give you guys something that's got a little thought and got a little message in it. So I hope you guys appreciate this. Make sure you subscribe, comment down below, show us how much you love us.